Hello, everyone. My name's Josh, and welcome to a new channel idea that I've been hoping to do and just haven't gotten around to do it. So I've been wanting to actually do this for a very long time now, and I put it off because it has to do with the Bible. And I feel like I'm always trying to reach a certain point or level of knowledge where I start. But I think what I need to do is actually just jump in there and start, or it's never going to happen. So this is a channel that's going to be dedicated to biblical scholarship, learning the Bible, understanding things better within it, doing textual criticism, all those types of things. Before I get a little bit more into what I'm hoping to do with this, though, a little bit about me. I am almost a physician associate, also known as physician assistant. I'm graduating relatively soon here, hoping to work in emergency medicine and maybe mental health services. My personal, outside of medicine, personal passion is in biblical studies. I was born and raised with the LDS type of framework. And a little bit more specific than that, I've actually born and raised as a Mormon Fundamentalist, and I am a fully believing and practicing Mormon Fundamentalist to this day. I always have been. So obviously that's going to give a different perspective to things, and there's going to be a number of assumptions that are different than other religious traditions are going to have. But over the last years, or a few years, while I've been interested in the Bible my whole life, the last few years I've taken a much more keen interest in academic and biblical scholarship. So, wanting to know about archaeology, authorship, the culture, Second Temple Judaism, things like that. So, it's been kind of a little bit of a, I don't want to say a faith challenge for me, delving into biblical scholarship, but it has definitely been a challenge on how I view scripture itself. And I kind of had to go through quite a big mental hurdle as I started to really read and study and learn that scripture does not operate in the way that I had originally believed, and that things didn't mean exactly what I had originally thought them to mean. And this new understanding has played a big impact on my life, and I feel like I just would like an area where I can really talk about these things, hash them out a bit, have a platform to talk about them and present them, because some of the things I do struggle with. And I want to share my journey. I want to share the questions that I'm asking, because I'm sure other people have those questions too. I think from my own religious background, it makes it a bit more unique in that I'm coming from a background of fundamentalism where things tend to take on quite more of a literal interpretation. Things like concordism, concordism being like whether you actually believe the literal happenings in the scriptures, or the happenings in the scriptures are literal things that did happen, and so we try and make science match up with things like, random example, Genesis, day one, light is created, and one of the other days, I can't remember which day, the sun and the moon and the stars are created. So concordism would effectually try and explain how that could be by coming up with an answer like, well, there was a comet on day one, and that was how there was light. Things like that, which I no longer ascribe to, and has presented a lot of struggles with me as I tried to delve through these things with scripture that are just new to me, and I'm in my upper 30s. And I want to share that experience, and maybe help people that have also had to go through this change of how they understand scripture. Because I don't think that we should fear an honest investigation. I believe in God, and He's the source of truth. And I think we should ask the hard questions. And when there appears to be a contradiction, I think that contradiction should be acknowledged, and that by asking that question, often we're able to learn new insights into truth and have more understanding. And a lot of times that understanding is even more rich and beautiful than what we had originally believed. And I have a number of experiences that I would love to share with that. Maybe I'll make a video specifically dedicated to that. So I don't have all the answers to these things. You'll hear me say a lot, like, I don't know. I really don't. I felt like the scriptures were cut and clear growing up, and now I've learned that that's simply not the case. There's exegesis, trying to understand the literal meaning of the original author. And then there's how later traditions reinterpreted that, and then there's even later than that how Mormons have interpreted that. And even in my own religion, how Mormon Fundamentalism has reinterpreted Scripture. And then even at a more personal level, we interpret Scripture at a very personal level with revelation. As you know, with my Mormon framework, we believe in personal revelation. And I think that all of these things are correct. I don't think that taking one way is the correct way to do it. I think that all of these different frameworks are essential to Scripture. One of the insights that I've had in my investigation. So I want to be transparent about those assumptions when I'm representing biblical scholarship and what I'm learning, even when it's challenging or it doesn't fit within my own beliefs, because I've learned to be okay with that. I don't know exactly how I'm going to go about this. There's so many subjects to discuss on this issue. But I'll do lots of book reviews, respond to questions, talk a lot about my own personal journey and how it's changed how I view Scripture. So whether you're a believer, skeptic, somewhere in between, Mormon, Christian, if it sounds interesting to you, I'd love for you to join my channel. If anything, just to learn about biblical scholarship itself. I hope to present stuff that is of a high academic caliber. I do have higher education. I've had to do academic works, and I read a ton. So yeah, actually right now I'm actually reading this book on Christianity, the first 3,000 years. I'm also looking at one of Bart Ehrman's books. I love Bart Ehrman, even though he's an atheist, and exegetical fallacies, and a number of other books. I'll have to show you my library in one of these videos that I make. So I think that's it. And welcome to my channel if you join, and thank you so much.